Hi everybody, this is Rita. Welcome to my channel. This is actually my first YouTube video, and I just thought that perhaps I could start off by doing a short little Lenormand series where we could do a beginner's introduction to the card system and teach you the cards and combinations, and then we'll just take it from there. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, where to begin? I guess we could start off with a little history lesson, where Lenormand comes from. Actually, it was a card game back in Germany. It's a German card game, and it's called the Game of Hope. And the object of this game was to lay out all the cards, all 36 cards. You played it with dice, and then it was kind of like Monopoly-ish. And the object of the game was to reach the anchor. Once you reach the anchor, you would win the pot. That's what the game was about. The game eventually morphed into an oracle with the original rules of the game as part of the meanings of the cards. It's very interesting how the Game of Hope and the Lenormand oracle are so similar. If you know one, you kind of know the other. This oracle was named after Mademoiselle Marie Lenormand, and she was a cartomancer to the stars, back in the 1700s. She read for such people as Josephine, Napoleon, Robespierre, and other French notables and aristocrats. The difference between Taro and Lenormand is that Taro is based on a system of esoteric and mystical meanings. It's very deep, very involved. You can study for years, and it just goes on. They use Kabbalah, Hermeticism, all kinds of different systems in Tarot. Whereas the Lenormand is just day-to-day pictures of dogs and trees and houses and ships. And these meanings don't have any esoteric associations attached to them. Although when you do read Lenormand, they can appear as literal, like a ship as an actual ship, or metaphorical. A ship could indicate a journey. Symbolic, a ship can indicate a transition, or suggestive, where a ship can mean a sailor. They possess the qualities of the name of the card. These core meanings will expand with experience, but the meanings of the cards will always go back to its roots. Lenormand is very simple, but don't let its simplicity fool you. It's also a very blunt oracle. It's to the point, and it's a very powerful forecaster. It's a really good system. I really enjoy reading with these cards. Another difference between these two oracles is that Tarot has 78 cards. It has the major and the minor arcana, and Lenormand only has 36 cards. So, this is it. Little skinny deck, but I mean, it could go really deep. It goes really deep. What else? This is considered the Le Petit Lenormand, the 36 cards. And I have to admit that, even though it's a simple day-to-day folksy kind of oracle, as you progress, it does get a little bit more complicated and structured. Once you start getting into the Grand Tableau, which uses all 36 cards, it does get, you have rules. You have method of distance, it depends on how close a card is or where they're facing, and there are different things that you have to learn. But as long as you have a good foundation of the Lenormand, it shouldn't be that difficult to understand. It's really not that complicated at all. You have a good foundation, you should be able to progress with with the Lenormand as a cartomancer. Okay, so with that said, let's start getting into the meanings of the cards. Let's get to it. Where are my cards? And here's the deck. This is the box that it comes in. This is the original Lenormand cards. This is what they used for the Game of Hope. These were the actual pictures that they used for the Game of Hope. So I'm using here now just, well, one reason is because the cards are bigger. They're easier for you to see. But these are, I also like history. So anyway, let's get to it. So this starts off with the Rider. Okay, the Rider is the first card. And I want you to memorize the numbers. I want you to memorize the picture. And you don't have to memorize the pips, but it's a good idea to get to know them and know what they're about. As you go on, some people use the pips for their readings, some people don't, but the most important thing is the picture and the Rider. Most decks come this size. It's about the size of my palm, okay? And they do have the mini decks as well, but I'm not crazy about the mini decks because they're too small, and you try to shuffle them and they flip all over and they're hard to handle. That's just me. I don't like them. I like this size, okay? So, and what else should I tell you about this deck? Well, as we go along, can't tell you everything at once. As we go along, hopefully I'll be able to give you some little tips and advice and little nuggets of information. And the one thing that I want you to know right now is you must learn the basic meanings, the keywords of these cards. You have to study every day, get the hang of it, know these cards, and then when you get them in a question, you'll be able to relate to it. You'll understand what it means in the question. Okay, I'm rambling. Okay, let's go. The Rider is the first card, and that has to do with news, a visitor, delivery, feedback. It's speed. It's a fast card. Fast card. Card number 1 is the Rider. Card number 2 we have is the Clover. Card number 2 is the Clover. Card number 3 is Ship. Wait a minute. The Clover, the meanings, the meanings are luck. You could tell this is my first video. Okay, the Clover is luck, chance, opportunity, it's fun, it's carefree. You see how the meanings of the card relates to the meanings. All right, a clover. What do you think of when you see a clover, right? Then we get to the ship, and the ship is travel, it's change, it's transfer, distance, and it's yearning, and it's card number 3. Card number 3. Card number 4 is the house, and it's a residence. It's your family, the people that live under your roof. It's real estate and privacy. Your comfort zone. It's your private life. Then we have the tree. And the tree is about health, growth, spirituality, your ancestors. And you say, ancestors, what does that have to do with tree? Well, your roots, okay, where you come from, your roots. And then we get to the clouds. And the clouds is card number 6. And It's about confusion, troubles, doubt, hesitation. It has to do with the mind as well, mental. Okay, so let's go over these. The first one is the rider. Number 1 is the rider. Number 2 is the clover. Number 3 is the ship. Number 4 is the house. 5 is tree. And 6 is clouds. Now, one of the reasons you want to learn the numbers of the card is that sometimes they refer to the card by their card number and not by their picture. So someone might say cards number 5 and 6. So if you don't know what cards 5 and 6 are, you might get a little. So that's the reason you should learn the numbers. Also, when you start doing the grand tableau, it's all by houses, and you need to know the numbers of the houses. But for now, just remember card 1, card 2, card 1 to 6. Okay, so let's do a couple of combinations here. Now let's see if I can explain this to you. Let's see. Every card represents a word, right? I just gave you a whole bunch of keywords. So every card represents a word. By stringing the cards together, you get sentences. And a sentence turns into a story, right? So for now, we're only going to combine 2 cards, which will create a concept. All right, you got that? Every card represents a word. By stringing, you string the words together to get ideas and concepts. Okay, and these cards are read from left to right, with the right card describing the left card. Okay, so it would be the noun and the adjective. Okay, let me give you some examples. I hope that made sense. So let me give you some examples. Okay, so you have the writer, right? Card number 1 is the writer. And then card number 2. Let me see if I do this correctly now. Card number 1 is the writer. Card number 2. Yeah, okay. Card number 2. Yeah, okay. Card number 2 is the clover. So now the writer is your subject. This is the card that you're talking about, right? And then the clover describes this card. So this is your noun. This is your subject or your noun, whatever you want to call it. The card next to it, to its left, is the adjective. So you say the writer. What about the writer is about news, right? Let's just take one keyword. The writer is news. And then you say, okay, but what kind of news? And then you say, it's good news. That's how you combine the cards, right? Let's do another one. Okay, so now here's the clover again. And then you get number 3. I'm going on in order here. 1, 2, and 3. So the ship. So you have the clover and the ship. So now you say the clover. You could say that the clover is fun, right? So fun. What kind of fun? Oh, you're having a fun trip. See? This card will describe the first card. So this is fun. What kind of fun? Fun trip. Or you could say gambling, right? This is gambling. And then you could say that this is a cruise. So you're going on a gambling cruise. See? See how it works? Let's try another one. So now you have ship as your noun, right? Ship is your noun. And then we're going to have house as your adjective, or the card that describes it. This is your subject, and this is what describes the subject. So you have the ship and the house. What do those two mean? It could be a change of residence, right? It could be a change of residence. A change. Change of what? Change of residence. You getting it? Okay, so the next card we have is the house. And we're pairing that off with the tree. And it could be a tree house, right? Very simple. Or it could mean that you're convalescing at home. This is the card of home, your home. This is the card of health, convalescing at home. Next we have the tree paired off with the clouds. And this could mean that you are confused about your health. There's some health confusion. Maybe you don't know what's going on. It could also mean mental health. You're really worried about something. There's something going on that's worrying you. Okay? So, those are the 6 cards for this week. I hope that you were able to learn how to combine the cards. I want you to get those keywords down pat. You know, after a while, your Lenormand vocabulary will expand. You'll have more meanings for your cards, and it'll just grow and grow and grow, and you'll be able to read the Lenormand like you're reading a book, okay? So I hope you liked what you saw. If you did, please like and subscribe, and this way you won't miss out on any more videos. And until next week, take care. Bye-bye.